Hello, Internet. Today we're going to talk about the isolation. We're going to talk about the different VR variety, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons, the stages, and the experience, what you need to achieve this type of isolation, and of course the reason why it happened, the popularity, and of course the reward. What you're gonna have at this type of isolation. All right, let's start with the first one. All right, this is your typical normies isolated type of thing. So you start as a normie. Maybe you have struggling with your work. Maybe you have fight at the work. So your manager saw you, and he says, "All right, take maybe 2 week off, maybe 1 month off," and you really do. You know, normies have a cozy house, so yeah, they going around the living room, and at this time, they gonna be at the social media 24/7, man. They gonna be here all the time. They most social at this time of their isolated. And you know, they gonna play around, searching for someone. And then until they stumble upon a barbecue, barbecue invited place. And of course, the Facebook, going to this barbecue party, hanging around, playing around, and enjoying. But after a couple of hours, they're gonna go back to their cozy houses, and maybe they're gonna repeat this for first week, maybe for 2 week, maybe. When this type of isolation happen, is when it happened after the second week. If they have a 1 month off, maybe at the middle, I don't know. When this isolation happen and when they get sick of going outside, they don't have any life beside working. It's kind of sad to think about it. So yeah, they're gonna be isolated at their home. They're really sick of social media, Facebook. So you're gonna see them most of the time at their home. And I see this a lot. Yeah, they're gonna stay at their home houses. Maybe they're gonna be active. They're still gonna be active, like what I said before, at the social media, especially Facebook, for some reason. And I see them a lot at meeting. Yeah, they're always all the time. They always face cam for some reason. Yeah, they gonna Zoom call anybody. Maybe their coworker, maybe their family. They cannot stand for themselves. They cannot stand alone. So yeah, this is why I put it there for the first thing, because this is really not that type of isolation, but consider, yeah. All right, next one. This is 99% of us. COVID. We always been there. All of us been there, of course. Maybe some of us are been there before. There's different type of them. As we can see, here's the Zoomer staying in his bedroom. Yeah, this type of isolation, game maxing, stuff like that. Maybe you're just a chill guy watching YouTube at your desk. And I see this a lot in guys. And I see this more on guys than women's. But there's some people that really work at their self. I'm not talking like they grinding, but like they do what they love. Some of them are, drawing. They want to be artists, but mostly they producing music, producing beats. Yeah, it is about music and stuff like that. I see it a lot. Then drawing, they all the same. They really not communicate with anybody. Staying at their room 24/7. I see a lot, and I don't blame them. Man. Sometimes they have a lot of choices on their life, so that way they just, I don't know, maybe they want to relax for the last time. So and some of them are really staying here for years. I don't know. There's a lot of different thing like there's a lot of different thing like some of them are staying here for years. Some of them are for some of them are for months. It is really dependent. This type of isolation isn't really has any pros. Like there's no reward in it. You're gonna lose a lot of communication skill, a lot of it, and you're really gonna struggle with that one because yeah, you don't do anything productive, and you don't need to. But yeah, if it is not helping you, I mean, it is your life. Well, we're not gonna go into that. But I see them sometimes driving. They go to a joyride, hanging around, driving around. This is their meditation, just driving around, and it really helped. But all right, this is a type of isolation. Uh, it doesn't have any name in it. This type of isolation doesn't have any name of it, but this type of isolation I call it grinding. Famous name in it. This is the popular name in it. Anyway, this type of isolation, I see a lot of youth people, teenager, a lot. Maybe you can do it, and also I see them and I see also in the old people, talking like 20, 30, 40. Doesn't have any age in it, but what does that type of isolation is? Maybe at the morning you work, of course. Afternoon you going to the gym, and after that when it go dark. And don't get me wrong, dude. There is something spiritually and mentally that really heal you if you pulling this heavy weight. And I tried this, and it really helped you mentally. But if you want it that effective, you gotta walk outside at the night. There's something in it. There's something on walking outside at night that really help. I'm talking like mentally and spiritually. I don't know how I explain it, but I've been there. I tried this a lot. I didn't even once regret it. It was really fucking helpful, especially if you want to figure things out. Really clear your mind, and when you walk, it is healthy, of course. So there's nothing bad in it. Uh, and unless you living in a bad state or something like that, you're gonna struggle a little bit. But it really clear your mind because nobody walking at night. And I see it in youth people. I see it in the. I see. I'm really proud of them. I see them at the park all the time, walking around. Youth. Yeah, like what I said before, there's no age in it. Like any age, anybody can do this. Whether you are a male, female, there is no difference in it. It is really helpful, especially if it is after the gym. All right, so let's go to the next one. So what is it? You graduate from the high school. You got your first van slash car, and finally, for the first time, you see the sunrise without any alarm. And I tried this. I really felt it. I'm happy about it. And you're going around with your car, and luckily you got your first bank account, which is really good. You really feel like a grown guy right now. And for the first week, for the first days, maybe month, maybe someday you're gonna go to your neighbor. Maybe you're gonna explore the world. Maybe you're gonna explore the town. You're 18 right now. You are 18. There's no chain in you. And yeah, of course, you're gonna start with your first struggle in your life, the LinkedIn, finding a job. It is really struggling. And yeah, while you enjoying the sunrise, while you enjoying the world, exploring, they're gonna keep going in your mind because you have the power, you have the health, you have the time, but you don't have the cash, you don't have anything, and you really need it that fast. I know that. So you going to apply with everything, no interview, no reply. So 90% you're going to the trade. I don't know, trading Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm sorry guys for the explanation. I don't have any. I didn't try the. I didn't try trading or anything. Anyway, so and somehow you're gonna lose in it, no matter how good you are. Trading is not good anyway. So yeah, and yeah, there's the thing. You're really going to hurt a lot of people saying that you gotta work hard, you gotta work, you gotta do it. But and you gotta hear this a lot. But if you ask them what I can do, what I should do, nobody will answer. Nobody know what is going on. They just motivate you for no reason. You're gonna hear this a lot. Believe me. Yeah, there's something called the LinkedIn effect. You're gonna see this people talking like a robot, man. LinkedIn is a big joke application, making people talking like a robot. Like you go to LinkedIn, you don't feel anything with a soul. Think everything is fake. Yeah. So if you're really interested, you can say you can. So if you're really interested, you can go to searching for the LinkedIn effect. It really make the people. I don't know what they talking about. And yeah, there's a lot of different things you can go. You can go to the construction. You can go to retail shop. You're gonna struggle with them. Yeah, and this is the saddest part in this type of isolation. And yeah, this is the most right. This is the saddest part of the type of isolation is that you're gonna miss your friend. That boys, that group of boys, maybe that one guy. They gonna go, bro. They gonna spread like a fucking ant. Someone is another state. Someone is another country. In another country. You're gonna flu. And I see this a lot. You gonna experience this, dude. This is the hardest thing, dude. You try to communicate with them, day after day, month after month. Maybe they have a job. They're struggling with the communication with you. So, 100%. Yeah, this is really. They're alive and well, but it's really not that hard. But yeah, they're still your friend. They are the homies, They are the homies. So yeah, I really miss those fuckers too. Yeah. Anyway, all right. This is the. All right. Maybe you are 20 right now, and you see a beard. You see a mustache in you, finally grow. But once that happen, you're really gonna struggle. Once that happen, you're gonna have a friend for your life, the minoxidil. You're going to start that struggle with the hair loss. Every guy been there. Not every guy, but really most of them. Maybe not on you 21, maybe on you 22, maybe on the middle of 20, 25, 26. Anyway, it's gonna happen 100% to you. And you're gonna struggle with the rent if you are working. If you don't work, maybe you are sleeping at the car, which is really painful, of course, if you the summer living in the hot areas. And I've been there too. When you're 21 and you're 22, your mind gonna play trick on you. All right, I'm sorry if this has happened to be like a life story or something like that, but I'm really going through a type of isolation, and it looked like a life story, but don't worry about it, guys. Anyway, this type of isolation, maybe you are in mid 20, maybe you are 21, 22, especially. You're going to have a lot of spiritual thing happen to you. That why all the people from that age, oh, most of the people, some of them are suicide, some of them struggling. This is first struggle also because your first beard, your first mustache grow finally, but you're gonna have a friend for your life, minoxidil, and this is where the battle came. The battle of this is your first struggle in your life with a hair loss. You're really gonna struggle with that one for the rest of your life. Uh, not going deep into that. Yeah, also you're gonna struggle with the rent. This is if you have a job. This is if you have a job. If you don't, you might be staying at your car. or van. This type of isolation, that you have a job too late and it gonna be a really bad job or something like that. So maybe you don't talk to your coworker and you just working without any goal, which is okay. I don't blame you. Working without any goal, without anything to do, to pay the rent, and you can ask yourself a lot: is that how I'm living? Anyway, I'm not going that deep into it. Um, yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of communication skill. Yeah, this type of isolation, you don't have any choice. You know, you don't have any choice. People are different. They're not young as you. They're not thinking as you. A new job maybe. You don't have anybody to communicate with, and I don't blame you. People in different ages, different beliefs. So yeah, I don't blame you at all. And this type of isolation is it is forced. You don't have any choice to get away from it. I mean, you can find a community that fits you. And yeah, of course, there's a reason about it. There's a, especially these days, and yeah, there's no reward in it. Just struggle. I'm sorry for that. Maybe you're gonna build a charisma for everybody, for the old people. You know, you're gonna see the how the old people work. How I don't believe there's a reward of this isolation. So sorry for that, people. All right, this is a really important thing to talk about, which is the stage of doomers. It called doomers, but all right, this is really important thing to talk about, which is the stage of depressing. They call it doomer. I don't really use these internet phrases, but yeah, there's this first sad doomers. Identified himself as a doomer after watching a Wojak memes. Joined a doomer community on Reddit. Listening to a doomer songs playlist on YouTube. Not really a doomer, just a sad person. Might be a depressed high school slash college student. Yeah, I see this a lot. I don't consider this as a doomer. I consider this as a people with a struggle, a person with a struggle, and I see this a lot. Like everybody these days do this phrases, dude. They consider themselves as a doomer. It is just depressed, like what the chart says, and I really agree with it, dude. I see a lot of people like that. You're not doomer, dude. Anyway, stage two, true doomer is addicted to something dangerous. He's lonely and isn't able to socialize with the people. Graduate from high school. Anyway, people, there's a lot of stages about doomers that I want to talk about, but I'm not going from all the stages. I'm here for the isolation. So yeah, this is a really important thing to talk about. All right, here we go to the, like what I said before, the doomer, the true doomer. What really happened is, you know, you're working, maybe you don't work, but there's something within you that prevents you to talk with anybody. So you isolate yourself, and this has happened because of the depression, or maybe traumatized, or something from the past that make you wake up. Anyway, there's a lot of it, and as we discussed before, there's a lot of stages in it. It is really bad for your health because you're preventing yourself from human communication, and this type of isolation is really affecting the guy who do it. Beside the communication skill, there's also the mental skill, the mental issue. You're gonna produce some mental issue. We're gonna make you anxious. Gonna make you anxious. They're gonna make you not ready for anything. You don't feel ready. You don't feel you want to do something in life. You don't want to. You don't feel any feeling. And if you're alone, if you are in this type of isolation, don't even turn on the news. Don't even look what happened to the world because that make it really worse. really worse. So I don't know if you have this type of isolation, just put everything down, think of your life, and of course you're gonna do it. Of course you're gonna make it. But if you really see the world, if you just open your phone, I don't know, maybe you see around, you're gonna see a lot of stuff. And believe me when I said that, you don't need to see anything. You don't even need to see all of that. You should isolate yourself if you're really into this. And as I say, as if and like was that what I says, if you're really in this situation, just put everything down, think of your life, really. So what happened at this type of isolation is, staying at the apartment slash home slash whatever. Close the windows like the photo right now there. Maybe you 24/7 in your desktop or your television, which is really bad. You should be working on yourself, working on your life. You need to figure it out. Maybe if they really want to go, they will go to the gas station or whatever. They're gonna go back, and all the time they're probably in the bed or at their desktop, and it is really horrible, a really horrible type of isolation because if you have any mental ill, it's gonna be really worse no matter what. So yeah, like what I said, you need to figure it out by yourself, and there's no way out of it unless you figure it out, unless you, I don't know, fix it, which is the hardest part because once you're there, you don't feel like it. You don't feel like yourself anymore. And with your whatever mental ill you have, it's gonna be really worse. It's gonna be your enemy. So yeah, there's no bronze in it. There's no achievement. There's no reward. The popularity on it, I don't know. I'm rarely see someone like that. It doesn't often happen. Maybe I don't see them around because they're places. I don't know, but yeah, there are some people like that, and I feel bad for them. So yeah, you gotta figure it out if you're there. God will be with you. Alright, we go. We have the best type of isolation. Going at the woods, going on the wood, going in the forest, and figure it out. This is the best type of isolation because I got a lot of reward, and this is what the human built for. We our subconscious like that. Yeah, this is what we made for. So yeah, you got your cabin. Life is a little rough, but you can't do it. You're a man, woman. You going outside. You see the animals. You hunting, whatever, building, and this is what make you feel good. This is what make you feel really human. But once the night came, you gonna see a lot of stuff. There's some creature that you think it is fine. You think it is not dangerous. They're gonna be really dangerous in the wild, and you might encounter paranormal activity, 100%, because they live there on the wild, on the outside the cities. They live there with you, and some of them gonna drive you crazy. The paranormal activity is not good at all. The paranormal activity affect you mentally more than physically, and it is not about the the and it is not about the paranormal activity alone. There's of course wild animal. There's of course animal that not discovered yet. Yeah, some of the paranormal activity they call it skinwalker. Maybe they call it something else. They always saying that don't whistle at the night, stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you gotta learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot living in the wild. But on your subconscious, while you're there, it really healed because this is what we meant for. This is what we created for. Wood, the wild, building, skinning, eating meat, and yeah, this is the life we genuinely created for. Yeah, you will encounter a lot of weird stuff. Like I put a lot of hairs pictures because yeah, and yeah, I put a lot of rabbit pictures. Yeah, and this is a hare. Yeah, I've been there, and also I encountered one hare, and It really changed my mind on the wild. I didn't expect rabbits were gonna be like that. And I believe there's a difference between rabbit and hares. Anyway, at this type of isolation, you're gonna encounter a lot of stuff like what I says, but you will have I'm not gonna say a superpower, but once you stay alone in the wild, you will have a perfect mind to I don't know. You're gonna know what happened. You're gonna know the animal behavior. Maybe if you stay alone, you're gonna understand how to tame them. So yeah, they're gonna know you. You're gonna know them, of course. And it is not about taming. You're gonna have the skill of. You're going to have the skill of the. And not only that, you're gonna have a lot of skills too. You're gonna have a sharp eyes. You're gonna be your bone is gonna be dense. Your health, of course, is gonna be perfect, because this is what we meant for. And beside the building your cabin or fixing every day, maybe there's something happen always all the time that people who go in the forest. There's something like let me explain it. There's something like Call of the Void, if you guys know this. It is basically maybe you are on the top of a building. If you see down, there's sound inside you. I don't know if it is normal or not, but like there's like a sound gonna say jump, jump, jump. It's gonna force you to do this. It is really, I don't know if everybody I talk with have this sound. I don't know if we are mentally ill or something, but yeah, same as this one. If you go in the wild, I don't know if you try or not, but there's gonna be a sound in your head that said, put everything behind, go in the wild, live in the forest. I don't know if it is within me only, but yeah, there's some call of the void happen there, and we have a lot of example actually. We have a lot of example. Anyway, let's talk about that. Yeah, so you will have a lot of skills, like what I says, sharp eye, dance bones. Of course, you're gonna have a much better health. Yeah, some people are not gonna call you human because you have this powerful thing, which is we should have, but industrial stuff. And one more thing, you will have a verdict of the future. I don't know how this happened, but yeah, a lot of people who stay in the wild, they have this intuition feeling, the guts feeling, much better than us, of course. And I tried to talk with someone who live in the wild, and yeah, this is based on my experience. All right, let's encounter the example that I'm talking about lately. Here, as you can see, guys, there's a what happened to the hiker. There's a story of him, and it is not the only story. There is a lot of it. Maybe I'm gonna talk about it a video later. I don't know. I'm gonna make a series about it. I don't know. But yeah, it happened a lot, especially in the forest. And yeah, there is a voice on every human. I don't know. I believe in the subconscious that forced us to go explore or maybe live and put everything behind, because I don't blame them. I don't blame them if they did this. We really built for the wild. We really built for living like that. As you can see, there's a big story of that. And yeah, there's a lot of story about the hiker. I'm going to talk about it later, but yeah, to make my point clear right now.